Hi everyone, how's it going? Hope you're good. I am back today to do a review of the Amazfit GTS, which I have here on my wrist. It is a watch that I've been looking forward to for a long time. As you've probably seen from this channel, I've reviewed pretty much all of the Amazfit smartwatches. They're cheaper than most other smartwatches, but they're pretty good value, pretty good build quality, and generally I like them. And I think this might be one of the best ones ever released. So it's taken a while for this to be released internationally. It first came out a few months ago, but now it's available in the West, in the UK, in the EU. So that's why I've got it. I've had it for a few weeks, and I'm going to tell you what I think, whether I think it's a good upgrade from the other Amazfit watches, and whether I think it's good in general, the pros, the cons, etc, etc, etc. So let's get started. Okay, so the Amazfit GTS, let's just have a look at the specs very quickly. It features a 1.65-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 348 by 442, and that is a pixel density of 340 ppi. It's waterproof up to 15 meters. It's got a 220 mAh battery, which according to Amazfit can last up to a month. It features GPS, a 6-axis accelerometer, an ambient light sensor, a barometer, and an optical heart rate monitor. So it can track your heart rate, it can track how many steps you do in a day, it can track your distance, the calories burnt, the kind of standard tracking features we come to expect from most smartwatches. So those are the specs, but let's have a look at what this watch looks like, because I think it's actually one of the best looking Amazfit watches ever released. Let's have a close look. Now, the first thing that many people noticed when this watch came out is how similar it looks to the Apple Watch. And I will say it is very similar. It's similar in shape and similar in size. However, there are some very key differences. For a start, this is literally about a third of the price of an Apple Watch, so don't expect the build quality to be as high. The Amazfit GTS features plastic in its design, not the metal and glass that the Apple Watch is made out of, so there is a difference in terms of quality. The watch is very simple, the rectangular design looks good. It's very light, it's very slim, the rectangular design is comfortable. I think that's the main advantage of the design of this watch, is how light and small it is. It comes with a plastic strap, which isn't the best thing in the world, but you can change it. There are so many options available online. You can buy a metal one for just a few dollars, so you can change it very quickly, but the plastic one it comes with isn't the most comfortable. When I activate the watch, you can see here that the screen is very bright, very sharp, very colorful. That AMOLED display doesn't look so different than other much more expensive smartwatches, and 340 pixels per inch pixel density is pretty good for a watch of this price. The touchscreen is responsive, but it's not going to be the same kind of responsiveness you get in an Apple Watch. Now, one of the highlights of this watch is the modular design of the screen. So basically what it does is, on its home screen, it has 3 different areas, and each area of the screen displays a different piece of information, and you can select them individually, you can change them individually. For example, on this screen here, it shows the time, it shows your heart rate, how many calories you've burnt, and how many steps you've taken. So you can touch on each one individually to change them or to see more information, and that will come up and you'll be able to look at that in more detail. So that is a new feature for Amazfit. That is a new software feature, and I think it's one of the better features. It certainly puts it ahead of other cheap smartwatches like the Amazfit BIP. The screen is certainly a large upgrade from the last rectangular Amazfit watch, which was the Amazfit BIP, which I have right here. Very, very popular watch, had a huge battery life, very cheap. The Amazfit GTS is essentially an upgrade from that watch. As you can see, it's a similar shape, similar design. So yes, the design of the GTS is unashamedly a copy of the Apple Watch. You will get some of that kind of style. It does look very stylish, I think, and the screen is light enough, bright enough, colorful enough to probably fool some people to thinking that it is an Apple Watch, but upon closer inspection, it really does not have the same build quality. It is a plastic case. The screen isn't as colorful and as bright when you look at it. You know, if you compared it directly with an Apple Watch, you'd be able to tell the difference pretty quickly, but it is, at the end of the day, a third of the price. So if you just wanted a stylish, comfortable, slim, good looking watch, then the GTS is pretty much the closest you're going to get to that. But let's talk now what the watch can actually do, because obviously it's a smartwatch and we want it to be able to do some things that normal watches cannot do. So the 3 main sensors that basically it uses is the GPS, heart rate monitor, and accelerometer. That allows it to track your workouts. It has a list of sports it can track: running, jogging, weightlifting. I think there's like football. I think there's some other just standard sports in there as well. Swimming. It will overlay your, if you go for runs, practicing for a marathon, going jogging, it can overlay where you ran onto Google Maps, and you can have a look at that. I have not many complaints there. I will say that the heart rate monitor, like all heart rate monitors in a smartwatch, is not the most accurate thing in the world. Sometimes when I'm working out, it says I'm doing intensive workouts for about 45 minutes, and I guarantee you I am not. It's probably more like 20 minutes. So yes, the GTS would make a good fitness tracking, or at least just simple activity tracking watch if that's what you're into, if that's what you're looking for. But like all other Amazfit watches, remember you cannot download any extra apps or any extra tracking software. It does not have an app store, so you are limited to what it can track out of the box, or any apps in general. You're not going to be able to download things like Spotify or Uber or Google Maps. Stuff like that is not available on the watch itself because it doesn't have access to an app store. But it does have some apps built into the watch itself. So if we look, I look here, it's got a weather app, so it will be able to tell you the weather forecast in your area for the next 5 days. It's got a music controller, so once you connect your watch to your phone, if you are playing Spotify on your phone, it will be able to control that from the watch itself. It's got things like an alarm, an event reminder. It displays all notifications. If you get a WhatsApp notification, it will display the whole message on the watch. Same with Facebook, same with Instagram. You won't be able to reply to them, and you won't be able to take or receive calls from the watch itself because it doesn't have a speaker or microphone. Now let's talk about the app that comes with the watch, the Amazfit app. That is how you activate the watch. That is how you can change and download watch faces, of which there are very, very many. So it's very useful for looking at a long-term how your fitness and health is doing. You can also look at those Google Maps, those overlays of when you run, the GPS tracking where you go. You can look at them. So it has a lot of stuff on the app. Unfortunately, it's not so easy to export that information. You can't export the Google Map information. You can't export the health information. So you are kind of trapped in that app itself. Another thing this watch is great for is sleep tracking, because it is so comfortable to use, comfortable to wear, and the app will display all of that information. So it will display how long you slept for, how much deep sleep you had. It will compare it with the average for your area, for your country, for the world. So the app displays your sleep data, your activity data, your steps, all that kind of stuff. I really don't have many complaints about it. It's not going to be as advanced as something like a Fitbit, but for what it does, I think it's fairly useful. And a few more points on the other features that this watch has. I mentioned the battery life at 220 mAh. Now Amazfit claim that the watch could last up to a month on a single charge. I think that's pushing it slightly. I think it's more likely to last a couple of weeks if you activate everything. So if you have the screen fairly bright, if you have the heart rate on constantly, and if you use the GPS every now and then, it's probably going to last more like a couple of weeks. I last charged this about a week ago, and I didn't even charge it fully, up to like 50%. Now it's on 11. So I reckon 2 or 3 weeks is more accurate, but that's still a pretty long time for all the stuff you get. It does help that it saves battery by turning itself off, as you can see here, well, turning the screen off, but then if you move your arm to look at the time, it will turn on automatically, so that's a good battery saving feature. It's also waterproof to 50 meters. However, Amazfit say that you shouldn't go diving with it. You shouldn't really go anywhere where there's a lot of fast moving water. So it will be all right in a bath and probably a shower, but I wouldn't take it actually swimming or diving. So yeah, that 50 meters water resistance isn't super useful, but you can get it wet and it won't break. Okay guys, I guess that's it. That's my review of the Amazfit GTS. Just to summarize, I really like the watch. For the price, it's not going to blow your mind. It's not the most advanced piece of technology in the world, but for the price, I think it's really good value. It looks great. The best thing about it is the design, how comfortable it is, how easy it is to wear, how I can wear it all day and not even think or realize it's there. It's a fairly simple smartwatch, but it looks good, screen is good, has a lot of internal tracking features. The only downside is the fact that there's no app store, you can't download anything else, and some of the tracking is not super accurate. For example, like I said, the heart rate, probably not the most accurate heart rate tracker I've ever used. It's certainly an upgrade from the Amazfit BIP. I mean, this is just, nope, don't need it anymore. There is also the Amazfit GTR, which came out at roughly the same time as the GTS. This is a slightly more expensive watch. It's obviously a different design. It has slightly different features, and it's just probably aimed at a different target audience. I'm going to do a comparison between these two in the next week or so. But as for now, I really like the Amazfit GTS. I think it's going to be the watch I wear on a daily basis. So for the price, I think it's worth it. And yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, I hope you found this review useful. If you have any questions about the Amazfit GTS, then please feel free to ask. Comment below. You can also find where to buy the GTS in the links below. So yeah, check those out if you're interested. And there's obviously going to be some more reviews and comparisons coming in the next few weeks. But until next time, I'll see you around. Bye.